Coming up on WUFT's First at 5, tragedy in the skies. The grim recovery efforts underway to recover the victims of one of the deadliest plane crashes in more than a decade.
And a former Gator football player arrested. What deputies say they found in his car during a traffic stop.
Plus, a local college expanding their nursing school to address key shortages within the industry.
Not a critical time for the nursing industry, college leaders are hoping simulations like these will attract more potential nurses to the field.
First at 5, from the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
We begin with a live look at first responders who have been in the Potomac River for much of the day, working to recover the victims of last night's collision between a plane and a Black Hawk helicopter near the Reagan International Airport in D.C. We're learning more about who was on the plane and the investigation into the collision. This is First at 5. I'm Alex Land.
And I'm Nick Diaz. Several federal agencies are now working together to learn how these two aircrafts ended up on a collision course. As Brian Eibe reports, the president has already started making accusations about who should be held accountable.
American Airlines says Flight 5342 from Wichita, operated by PSA, was on approach to land at Reagan National Airport when it and an Army Black Hawk helicopter from the 12th Aviation Battalion, similar to this one, collided in flight.
It was a fairly experienced crew, and it was doing a required annual night evaluation. They did have night vision goggles.
There was not a breakdown in communication between the military helicopter and American airline flight. There was communication between the aircraft and the tower.
Among the PSA jet's passengers, several athletes, coaches, and family members returning from a development camp with U.S. figure skating. In a statement, the governing body said it is devastated by this unspeakable tragedy. At the White House, President Donald Trump addressing the tragedy.
As one nation, we grieve for every precious soul that has been taken.
But he also pointed fingers.
I put safety first. Obama, Biden, and the Democrats put policy first. The FAA's diversity and inclusion hiring plan, which says diversity is integral to achieving FAA's mission of ensuring safe and efficient travel. I don't think so.
When asked for evidence why DEI could be a factor.
Because I have common sense, okay?
This morning, the president appointed a former senior aviation official as the FAA's acting administrator. That role, among others at the agency, were left empty following resignations ahead of Trump taking office. In Washington, Brian Eibe reporting.
Closer to home, a former Florida Gator defensive end and ex-NFL player is facing drug and gun possession charges after he was arrested during a traffic stop overnight. The Alachua County Sheriff's Office says they stopped Earl Okine after he drove through a stop sign. A K-9 deputy searched the Jeep, and deputies say that's when they found crystal meth, a small amount of marijuana, and a gun with an extended magazine. The report says he was also in possession of multiple rounds of ammunition. Okine was arrested and taken to the Alachua County Jail. Okine played for the Florida Gators from 2008 to 2012 and went to play for both the NFL and arena football. He signed with the Houston Texans as an undrafted free agent and also spent time with the Indianapolis Colts.
The Florida Highway Patrol needs your help tracking down a car that hit a child and took off. Troopers say the crash happened in Columbia County just after 7 this morning. They say a white Toyota pickup truck backed into an 11-year-old. The crash was at the intersection of Northwest Turner Avenue and Northwest Whitney Glen. The pickup was last seen traveling south on Turner. The child wasn't badly hurt, and if you have any information about the crash, call FHP. And a man is dead and 2 others are hurt following a 3-vehicle crash in Levy County early this morning. It happened around 5:45 a.m. The FHP report says a 57-year-old was riding his motorcycle down Highway 41 when an SUV attempted to pass another vehicle in the opposite lane and hit the victim. Troopers say he was wearing a helmet. At the time of the crash, there was a dense fog advisory in effect.
Let's take a live look at I-75 in Marion County for your evening drive home. It's been mainly sunny this afternoon after some early morning fog. UF forecaster Ben Gancarz-Davies joins us now. Ben, the past couple mornings have been foggy. Can we expect to see dense fog forming again tonight?
Yes, we are going to be seeing that fog come again tonight, mainly on the east coast of Florida. That will be in the period just before sunrise. Right now, we are just before sunset, golden hour here on the University of Florida campus. Temperatures just below 70 degrees, a little bit of wind coming from the south-southeast. Those temperatures are going to be dropping after sunset from those upper 70s down to those upper 50s. You can see around 3 a.m. we have that fog forming that is going to be affecting us in those early morning hours. It'll mainly be there from 6 a.m. till 9 a.m. You can see our current usual visibility is 6.1 miles, but we're going to be seeing visibilities of just around 0.1 miles, 0.2 miles, which will be dissipating soon. In my full weather forecast, I'll let you know exactly how that's going to time out as well as what the rest of the week holds.
Day 3 of the Alachua County Census continues today. The census, known as the point-in-time count, assesses the needs of the unhoused population in Alachua County. But a freeze on federal grants threatens the count and other various programs. Though the memo has since been rescinded, service providers are remaining vigilant. Jacob Turner, Vice President of Programs for the Task Force for Ending Homelessness, says a freeze would have devastating effects on the community.
We know that the impact would just be deadly on folks in our community, and so we're hoping that that's not the case.
Homeless service providers are determined to continue their care. The North Central Florida Continuum of Care has written to Representative Kat Kamak asking for help to protect those grants. Though she has yet to respond, the group is hopeful she will help to address the needs of the community.
Deputies in Marion County are working to identify who shot a dog with an arrow. Deputies have a witness statement to help identify the suspects. They say 2 men were seen leaving an intersection in a brown 1970s Ford with wooden boards along the truck bed. Anyone with information is asked to report tips to Crime Stoppers. Newberry is in the works of creating an interim contract after city manager Mike New resigned. The city commission discussed what the first steps are in finding a replacement in a meeting on Monday. New served on the position for more than 10 years and recommended changes to the job description. The resignation is effective on February 24th.
The city of Gainesville is addressing the concerns of residents and golfers over the Ironwood Golf Course. The Department of Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Affairs have released a new update on the repair and reconstruction efforts. Multiple factors have caused delays, one being freezing weather's impact on the course's new grass upgrade. A plumbing failure 2 weeks ago caused water intrusion, with repairs on several facilities beginning immediately. Other projects include the opening of the clubhouse and bar and the purchase of new golf carts. Director Roxy Gonzalez says she is confident the course will bounce back better than ever. She says the ongoing improvements will touch nearly every aspect of the course and should make your experience on the links that much better.
The Gainesville Regional Utilities lawsuit against the city may end as early as April. The court is set to hear arguments on April 2nd from both sides. Then the court will decide if the case needs to go to trial. The case revolves around whether GRU should be controlled by the city or by the state-appointed authority board. The board argues that the city cannot take control of GRU because it goes against state law, but the city of Gainesville defends the initiative, saying it only modifies the city charter.
The U.S. healthcare system is struggling to fill important roles like registered nurses. It's why schools like the College of Central Florida in Ocala is pouring more in millions of dollars into their program to help get the industry back up again. WUFT Sebastian Broche is live in the studio with more on how they're working to make that happen.
Aiding in the national nursing shortage is one of the main reasons the College of Central Florida opened their doors to a $20 million state-of-the-art facility. Measuring in at just over 42,000 square feet, the facility features 6 classrooms, 6 simulation rooms, 3 skills labs, and 1 testing lab.
We have completely transformed our workforce education programs, and particularly in our health sciences.
The American Association of Colleges of Nursing reports after the COVID-19 pandemic, the industry saw a significant drop in nurses after they reported feeling burnt out. Hospitals were understaffed and 52% of them considered leaving their positions. Nursing student Samantha Saez says she is impressed with the growth of the college's program.
From the beginning, we started off with a 45 student class. With increasing numbers in overall program, I think it'll allow us to get more numbers up and allow more students to go into real life situations.
But it's not just the cutting edge technology and the remodeling that those at CCF say makes it great. It's the professors on the field with the students.
You know, learning never stops. And so as faculty, we're also keeping up with the latest information in nursing and in healthcare so that we're able to give the best to our students.
Another issue leaders are hoping to address is job placement. The same report says nursing programs have turned away over 65,000 qualified applications due to budget constraints and classroom sizes. CCF is hoping to turn these no's into yeses and get more nurses back in the hospitals.
When people come into this building, those are the kind of things that they're going to see, that this building was built with that in mind.
1, 2, 3, 6, 7.
While the College of Central Florida continues their pursuit into excellence in health sciences, students can reap the benefits of brand new education grounds. Live from the studio, Sebastian Broche, WUFT News.
Coming up on WUFT's First at 5, a local school district wants parents' input when it comes to providing a better education for students.
Plus, how the University of Florida is working to combat a disease that affects avocado trees. We'll be back after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Florida's avocado trees are in danger, and the agricultural leaders at the University of Florida are working to combat the disease.
And they're getting some help with their work thanks to a new $5 million grant. WFT's Madison Ginsberg is live at a community garden with how Eibe's plans to keep the disease from spreading to other Florida crops.
Behind me stands an avocado tree. Today I spoke with UF Eibe's fruit crop specialist who spoke to me about the concerns he has for this insect affecting the agricultural industry. I also spoke with a community member who takes care of this very garden right here, and she shared with me her passion that she has for taking care of this plant. Community gardener Maria Huff Edwards finds joy in taking care of her avocado tree along with other plants. Her biggest challenge is finding the time to prepare the soil and give it extra attention.
Avocados like water, so you just have to make sure that you give it tender, loving care.
For avocado trees in Florida, one insect is proving to be an enemy, the ambrosia beetle. The bug infests trees and breeds inside. Then bacteria grows lethal laurel wilt, causing avocado trees to die.
We went from about 740,000 avocado trees. We've lost about 30,000 avocado trees.
The beetle started in Asia, moved to Georgia, then to Florida. Experts believe the bugs are en route to Mexico, causing chaos along the way.
A huge economic problem for the producers. We've lost about, 32% of the trees, and our production has dipped by about 60%.
The UF Eibe's team secured the $5 million in grant funds. A portion of it will go towards fighting the ambrosia beetles that cause the deadly laurel wilt disease. A unique thing about this plant is that it is not affected in Asian countries. Researchers say that the plant has adopted an adaptation. This is very interesting because researchers are still trying to identify why this is happening in the state of Florida. Live at Dreamers Garden, Madison Ginsberg, WUFT News.
Marion County parents and families are being asked to offer input over the children's public school system. Marion County Public Schools is asking for feedback on their school communications, academic efforts, effectiveness, and more. The district's annual Title I survey can be accessed on www.marianschools.net. There are both English and Spanish versions available for the 18-question survey. Parents have a chance to complete the survey until February 9th.
And we're going to have fog tomorrow morning. I'll time out its impact on your morning commute coming up.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Current temperatures in the mid-70s. This is a bit warmer than it was yesterday, but we're going to be seeing that decline in just a little bit after sunset. Our campus cam has a good amount of cloud coverage, part of what kept it a little temperate today, and that wind that we have coming from the south-southeast at 9 miles per hour, that also helped it feel just a little bit cooler than you might have expected. Visibility during the day is about 6 miles per hour, but early morning hours we're going to be seeing visibility about 0.1 miles, so you definitely want to have your headlights on, or you might not want to be driving at all. That should be dissipating towards the east coast as we get into 8 a.m., 9 a.m. hours. You can see Palatka has already recovered, but St. Augustine is still feeling the effects at 8 a.m. But once we get to 9 a.m., 10 a.m., the whole of Florida should be free of that fog. We felt a bit of a warm up between yesterday and today, and we're going to feel that continue tomorrow before a cold front comes in and makes it feel a little bit cooler over the weekend. Not too much of an impact though. Early morning, we are below 60 degrees tomorrow, but it's climbing up to just about 80. That's a 20-degree difference in just 8 hours. That is quite significant, and we do have that morning fog, but once it dissipates, we'll have that heat building and some clouds moving in the afternoon. Looking at those early morning hours tomorrow evening, we have some rain chances in the 20%, 30%. We're not expecting too much of an impact, but there will be drizzles out early morning on Friday. Now, there won't be having too much landfall of that rain, though. You can see the totals are below 0.1 inches, hitting 0.1 only down in Crystal River. Here in Gainesville, that amount of rain is negligible, and you won't be feeling its impact during the day. But before it even gets to us, during the day on Friday over in the Panhandle, they'll have isolated marginal risk of severe thunderstorm activity. This is coming from a system that is currently just above north of Arkansas. Most of its impact of rain is occurring in the Tennessees on its way to the Carolinas as this cold front system is going to make its way towards us here in Florida. Again, we're going to be seeing those impacts on Saturday and Sunday, but only by a couple of degrees. What might have been 80 degrees is now going to be in those mid-70s. And on Sunday, we do have a good amount of cloud coverage that's going to make it feel even more temperate than those numbers might suggest. This weekend, we're seeing that dip from the 80s to the mid-70s. Not too big of a difference from that cold front, but we do have nice cloudy skies throughout the week as those temperatures are hovering just about 80 degrees, maybe a couple degrees higher or lower, lows in the upper 50s.
Coming up in sports, Gators women's basketball welcomes in Vanderbilt tonight. WFT's Ethan Eibe will be live ahead of the matchup. And how Gators men's basketball used this bye week to prep for a rematch with Tennessee in Rocky Top. We'll be back after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Happy Thursday and welcome to sports. I'm Daniel Haviv. Gators women's basketball is riding a 3-game losing streak ahead of their home matchup with the 23rd ranked Vanderbilt Commodores. WFT's Ethan Eibe is live outside the O-Dome just over 90 minutes from tip-off. Ethan, the winning's got to start now. This schedule is not getting any easier.
That's right, Daniel. Losses to LSU, Auburn, and Ole Miss have seen this Gators squad fall to 2-5 in conference play. They'll look to right the ship today against the Vanderbilt Commodores. And with that, we'll welcome in the voice of Gator women's basketball, Kyle Crooks. Kyle, what are some keys today for Kelly Ray Finley's squad to get back to their winning ways?
Yeah, Ethan, it's about turnovers. You got to keep that number under 20. The last 3 games, the Gators have given the ball away more than 20 times. You can't win games when you don't have enough shots and enough possessions. Got to defend better. I mean, that goes without saying, that side of the floor. There's been effort and energy for sure, but that's got to be better. And get the ball inside. Vanderbilt is undersized, so get the ball in the paint. Utilize your 6'6" center and Shea Kyle and find a way to get her going.
Yeah, I know some things have been tough as of late, but let's talk about some of the positives. One being Liv McGill, who leads the way in scoring for Florida. What's been her impact on this team as a freshman?
Yeah, 5th in the league in assists as well, just under 6 dimes per game. Just the energy, the creative ability, the way that she's able to score. She can hit the outside shot. She can defend. She has that word that people use, an aura. She has an aura about her, and that's just the way that she plays. One of the best freshman guards in the country and in the SEC, and she'll have a good matchup against Michaela Blakes tonight.
All right, thanks so much, Kyle. You can catch his broadcast on SEC Network Plus. Live from the O-Dome here, Ethan Eibe, WUFT Sports.
Now moving to the men's squad, the 5th-ranked Gators had the week off ahead of a rematch in Tennessee on Knoxville on Saturday. Florida's coming off 3 straight wins, most recently a 30-point blowout over Georgia. The Gators' veteran backcourt has been arguably one of the best in the country. Walter Clayton Jr., Elijah Martin, and Will Richard are all averaging double-digit points per game. Gators' men's and women's swim and dive will compete at Florida State beginning tomorrow and through the weekend. Florida's men's squad is ranked 5th in the nation, and the women sit at 4th. Both teams are undefeated so far in conference play, and they also hold some league best times, with Bella Sims leading in the 100 and 200 backstroke, and Julian Smith at the top in the 100 breaststroke. 4 former Gator softball players were selected in the inaugural Athletes Unlimited Softball League draft on Wednesday. Alicia Ocasio was the highest Gator selected at pick 5 in the 2nd round to the Blaze. Skylar Wallace was picked at 11th by the Bandits. Amanda Lorenz and Kelsey Stewart-Hunter were taken by the Volts. Everyone but Wallace was part of Florida's 2 NCAA national championship titles in 2015 and 2016. As high school basketball season approaches the playoffs, some local programs have crucial games tonight. Starting with the boys, Chiefland heads to Hawthorne as the Hornets ride a 6-game winning streak. PK Young clashes with the undefeated Newberry Panthers, who look to make it 21 wins on the season. And Williston takes on Buchholz, with both teams sitting just above 500. Now moving to the girls, just before the boys game, Chiefland and Hawthorne face off with only 3 losses for each team. Buchholz goes to Newberry. The Panthers are undefeated in district play. And the Tigers of Trenton take on Forest in a big one. Both teams stay comfortably heading into playoffs. And one last note, 3 former Gator football players will participate in the Shrine Bowl tonight. Montrell Johnson, Jason Marshall, and Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon will take the field at 8.
Yeah, Daniel, those are some big names. I know I don't want to miss it, so I'm definitely tuning in.
Absolutely, and I hope that we can get some good weather for the game. Ben, can you tell us something good?
Well, you definitely need to be there. This weekend, we're going to have wonderful weather here in Gainesville. The temperatures are going to be just about 80 degrees. This weekend, it's actually going to be a little bit cooler as we have that cold front coming in Friday night and Saturday morning. But those temperatures are going to be climbing back up to the 80s for Monday through the rest of the week on Thursday, sitting at just about 82 degrees, just above that 80-degree mark. Our lows are going to be taking that same dip with the cold front from those 50s to those lower 50s and back up to the upper 50s, even climbing to the low 60s on Thursday. We have partly cloudy skies, and you don't want to forget about that fog that's going to be coming in early tomorrow morning. Be safe on the road.
Thanks for joining us. We're back here tomorrow for another edition of First at 5.
For your North Central Florida news is always on at WUFT.org and on all our social media platforms. Have a good night.